I wasn't expecting you to be back so soon. It's not what it looks like. I'm stealing it for a friend. I didn't think anyone would notice. Cole? I guess this means a new iPhone's out of the question. Everyone, I'm your host Miranda Fritz, and welcome to the Christmas episode of Randa. It may be the end of the semester, but unfortunately for you guys, it's not the end of this show. I'm sorry to say you will be seeing this lovely face come January. As some of you may have noticed, it is the holiday season. This probably has to be the most favorite time of year for me. I enjoy all the lights and garland, my Pentatonix Christmas music, and the fact that I mostly get to wear lots of leggings and Christmas sweaters all the time. Because let's be honest, all my cute clothes are winter clothes. I wait all year just so I can wear my red and white Christmas socks with my ankle Ugg boots. Speaking of Christmas sweaters, I never really understood why people could call them ugly sweaters. I personally don't think that Christmas sweaters are ugly. I love all my Christmas sweaters equally. I have all kinds of them, from my old Goodwill ones who have been given a new life to the mermaid glitter one that switches from Merry Xmas to Happy New Year, that in a snap is perfect for all of my end of the year occasions. And finally, to my light up sweater that never fails to amuse me. And I would most definitely never want to make any of them self-conscious by telling them that they're ugly. They're beautiful works of art, and if you ask me, heck, I even think the insanely gaudy ones are exquisitely unique in their own right. So, to all you ugly sweaters out there, just know there's someone out there looking out for you. You're beautiful and wouldn't be the same without you. I mean, seriously, people have built entire franchises off the public's newfound ugly Christmas sweater obsession. There are multiple companies that specialize in ugly sweaters. For instance, there's uglysweater.com, myuglysweater.com, and getuglysweaters.com that is actually having an early Xmas huge sale, by the way, just in case you were looking. There is even a National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, which is apparently on the third Friday of December, which in this year's case, just in case you're too busy with homework to keep up with the calendar, is the 15th. If you would like to know more about the extra thread-tastic holiday, you can visit the website. Yes, National Ugly Sweater Day has its own website, completely dedicated to all things ugly sweater and your ugly sweater needs. No joke, this is some serious business. Let me read an excerpt from the page about National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. Feeling bored? Uninspired by life? Do you need 4 cups of coffee just to break the monotone of the 9 to 5? Fortunately, there is one special day in December that will alleviate the common melodies. That day, my friends, is National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. The website goes on to explain what to do on National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, which basically just boils down to wear an ugly sweater all day. And the website gives suggestions on where to find the best ugly sweaters and even gives tips on how to make one yourself. If you need any help in any of those departments, feel free to check it out at nationaluglykchristmassweaterday.org. It's a .org website, so you know it's got to be legit. Anyways, back to me. There are so many things I love about the holiday season. It's the time I get to make pumpkin roll and Christmas sugar cookies. And yes, I did make those myself. I kind of dabble in cookie decorating. It's a very time-consuming and tedious process that takes a very, very long time to finish, but it's typically worth it in the end, mostly because they're delicious. My family and I don't do anything too special for Christmas. Typically, the entire family goes to my uncle's house, which we used to go to my grandma's house, but is just too much for her these days, so we changed locations in the past 2 years or so. There we have all kinds of finger foods. My uncle makes these amazing meatballs at Christmas time and at New Year's time that are literally the only times that he makes them, and I look forward to it every year. I have tried making them not around Christmas time, and it's just not the same, even though I do crave them all year round. We also always get a meat platter fixed with cheese and several different types of meats, including a German meat that looks like a flattened mixture of Jell-O chunks and Spam. I have never tried it because it looks absolutely disgusting, but it's a German thing, and my family's German, so I guess it kind of makes sense. After we eat, we all gather in the living room and wait for Santa to arrive. Now, this tradition is extra special to me because we have done it for my entire life. We have had the same Santa for over 20 years. It all started with my brother when he was a child. This Santa is really good friends with my dad, and they have known each other ever since my dad started working out at Goodyear. Our Santa is the most amazing Santa, and he has a real thick white beard and joyfully laughs like Santa even in his off season. That's how I found out who he was when I was little. He sacrifices his own Christmas every year to drive all around and outside of Lawton area for families all over Lawton. Out of everything during the holidays, Santa's visit is always what I remember the most about Christmas as a child. Even though I'm not a kid anymore, I still think it's very special to me because now my brother and my sister have kids, and I get to watch the same joy and excitement in their eyes as I had whenever I was a child. So when my grandpa passed away last year before Christmas, I made it a point to continue this tradition in order to make things just a little bit more normal, even though I knew that they would never be the same. Anyways, so here's how it goes. Santa comes in and says his favorite catchphrase in his most joyful, most Santa Clausy voice possible. "Ho, ho, ho, Merry Christmas," he says as he sits down. The children and me gather around the center chair to hear what he has to say. He begins by asking everyone if they would like to hear a story, and of course we all say yes. He always tells the night before Christmas and all through the house story. With an unwavering performance, he never fails to touch all the kids' heads or the point to accent a particular part in the story. When it gets to the part about the person in the story that sees Santa, he gets very, very quiet, and we all lean in to hear him, even though we all know what's about to happen. As he quietly explains the encounter, he then shouts, "And up the chimney we goes!" Oh, ho, 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 ho. Everyone laughs because we jumped at the abrupt voice change again that year. After the first story, Santa then has everyone take a turn sitting on his lap and asking what they want for Christmas. Even the adults. No one is left out. There's always someone who refuses to sit on his lap because they think that they'll break Santa's knee, and then there's always someone who asks for nothing, and Santa always replies, "I think I have a few of those in blue or red." I have recently started asking for selfies from Santa. It's magical and all, but it's going to take a lot more than rosy cheeks and a button nose to clear that mess up. But anyways, after all the adults have taken their turn, then the children are called up one by one to receive their early Christmas gift from Santa, which are really just the presents the parents set out on the front porch that Santa, oh so slyly, put into his bag before coming in. All the kids get their presents, and they're all told not to open it until Santa leaves. There's, of course, always the one kid who accidentally didn't hear that part and starts tearing it open immediately after receiving it. But what are you going to do? They're kids. So after all that is over, Santa has a few tricks up his sleeve. He starts with the Colored Itself coloring book that starts out as blank pages when it first thumbs through it. The blank pages then become coloring pages after the kids shout that nothing's there. He then asks one of the children to color the pages inside the lines by placing their hand on top of the book. And sure enough, he thumbs through it again, and the pages are magically colored in perfectly. I'm not gonna lie, this one still baffles me completely. The next trick has to do with bubbles, solid bubbles. So he begins by asking the kids if they can catch bubbles. He of course follows by blowing a few bubbles and having the children try to catch them. But they ultimately all pop. Santa then asks if he can try. He blows one big bubble and quickly reaches out and snatches the bubble out of the air. He then opens his hand to reveal a wet, completely clear crystal ball. He explains that this will be the ball that he takes home to the North Pole, where he will see all the kids and if they're being naughty or nice for next year. He then lets a few of the kids touch the ball. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little salty about this one because I have never once got to touch that crystal clear ball, not even whenever I was a kid. Anyways, Santa wraps up his visit with a final story about the first Christmas, which is the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. After the solemn good message about the true meaning of Christmas being love and family, he then bids everyone adieu, telling the children to be in bed by 10 o'clock, and he makes his way out the door. The evening is followed by everyone opening the rest of their presents and the kids playing with their new toys. This tradition is one of the closest ones to my heart because we do it as a family. It doesn't matter if everyone is fighting and if nobody's getting along the rest of the year. It's the time that we come together in order to have a good time, not only for the kids, but for ourselves as well. Life can change at the drop of a hat. So I truly believe we have to cherish these moments, this specific time of year, because it's not very often that we get to witness this world in a universally unified, cheerful disposition. Seriously, I have to enjoy the time I have to spend with my parents before they realize how much more fun their friends are than me and leave me here all alone with my 12 dogs, 6 cats, 3 guinea pigs, 2 peacocks, and a partridge in a pear tree. See what I did there? For those of you who don't know, a partridge is a medium-sized game bird. It's basically like a really tall quail. I swear, I've sang that song for years, and I never knew what a partridge in a pear tree was. No, but seriously, the holidays should be a time of not only joy and coming together, but a time to reflect on the wonderful life we lived in the past year, and decide to set aside any animosity, anger, or hate toward one another. And just be a family, be a friend, and just be nice, because you may never know what someone else is going through. Some of us may not realize the holidays can be a lonely time for some people, especially if their family or friends aren't close. And even just a simple Merry Christmas or Happy New Year could be the tiniest little glimmer of kindness a person needed to get through the holidays. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has an amazing Christmas break. I'll see you bright and bushy-tailed next year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and bring in those dancing Aggies.